what kind of pressures are in Chinese society? You see, I think this is a very pressured society if you were Chinese, mostly because of the family and the family pressures. For example, so obviously in the West we have social security, so if somebody got old, you know, the government, in our countries it'd be the government's responsibility to take care of the elderly, you know, and make sure that they're protected and safe and being looked after. You'd have social workers, you know, care workers, stuff like that. But China just doesn't have the infrastructure to kind of deal with these kind of problems, so it falls on the children. So a lot of the time people have kids in China not because necessarily they want to have you know, somebody in their life to love. They might still love them, but it's, you know, you are it's an investment, you know. So the idea is that your parents raised you and your grandparents raised you when you were a child, so when they get older you return the favour and you look after them. So, you know, there's two ways that Chinese people might do it, you know. If you live nearby, you might actually literally look after them, you know, and take care of them until they die. Or you send them money so that they have enough money to take care of themselves, you know, maybe pay somebody to look after them and stuff like that. It would mostly fall on the men. I think the men take the main brunt of the responsibility because you know, like in this culture the men will stay near their family, and the women, you know, because they get married, it's considered that the women will not be part of the family once they get married off. So it mostly falls on the men, but the women would still have to contribute to their parents, you know, pay a little bit of money each month or whatever to keep their family going. So that's one big pressure that I think young people in China suffer from the most, and I think it's a bubble that's about to burst. I don't think it's gonna last forever. I think that the generation that are having children now, they won't expect that from their children, you know. So that might change. Another pressure because of this is this is more traditional maybe. You know, if it was a rich family, maybe less so, but you know, people will get married very quick or very young, and it's the same principle, you know. The parents pressure the children to get married fast so that they can have children fast, so that the parents, the grandparents are not too old to look after the children, because in China the grandparents will do a lot to raise the children because the parents are expected to work, and you know, so then the children will grow up and can look after the parents when they get old. So I think this can cause some problems, because I think a lot of times people will get into marriages that they're actually not happy with, and then, you know, that can cause problems later down the line when, you know, they meet somebody that they do like and stuff like that. So there's problems in that, I suppose. And another thing would be the workplace. There's a lot of pressure in the workplace. It works very differently to the West. You know, you're expected to be friends with your boss and have a good relationship with your boss, and, you know, kind of, you know, suck up to your boss, you know, say nice things to your boss, you know, say nice things to other people so that you can get a promotion. You know, it's not always based on ability, it's based on how much your boss likes you, and if your boss doesn't like you, you're less likely to get promoted, you know. So that's a bit of a problem. because obviously in the West it would definitely go on ability, you know. They'd have a sheet of information about your credentials, and then they'd promote you based on that, you know. Another pressure that you could get in, you know, in the workplace is they like to kind of have these, in China, like team building exercises are really big, you know, and really important. So, you know, they put a lot of pressure on the Chinese staff to kind of go to these team building exercises and, you know, be part of a team, you know, be one. China's a very much a, you know, we are one people kind of system. It's not, they don't ever think of themselves as individuals working together. It's, you know, you either fit in or you don't, and if you don't, you know, then you have problems. So, you know, people in the workplace kind of behave very differently to what they might do outside the workplace. I think there's a, you know, a very different clash of personalities. When they go into the workplace, they have a work personality, and when they leave the workplace, they have their own personality, you know. They'll pretend to believe in things when they're in the workplace that in reality they don't really believe in, but they're just doing it for the sake of their careers and stuff, you know. Because I mean, in the West, you know, we have much more like flexible workplaces, you know. For example, you could go and be a teacher, realise you don't like being a teacher, and then you could go and work in an office. Whereas out here, you go to school, you work really super hard, get a Gaokao, good exam, go to university, and then you, with that degree, that's a skill that you're going to use for the rest of your life, you know. Very difficult to change careers in China. And that's another pressure, education. You know, Chinese people are under an immense amount of pressure from the moment they're born, you know. And you see it when you come out here, if you come and teach, because you'll get 2.5-year-olds, you know, really young kids, you know, being forced to work hard and learn things, you know, because obviously with the amount of people that are in China, it's so competitive to get a job that these parents, you know, they might not even think that it's right for their child to go and study English this young, but they feel like they have to in order to give this child a chance to do well, you know. And there's the Gaokao's just a ridiculously difficult exam. That in reality, I think if you were not to pass that exam, you would be doomed. You wouldn't be able to get a good job. You'd be struggling for the rest of your life, you know. And it's an awful lot of pressure, you know. You'll be working, Chinese kids will study, you know, from 6 in the morning till 2 in the morning the next day, and, you know, working every day without a day off. And, you know, it causes a lot of problems. I think a lot of young people might kind of turn to some, you know, pretty desperate ways out of it. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of episode on pressures in Chinese society. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.